Okay, do you want to ask one?
Sure. So what would you say to someone who has had sex but doesn't feel like they can get their virginity back? What would you say to them?
Well, technically, virginity is a physiological thing. Technically, once it's gone, it's gone. But the problem is, what we're looking for here is not just technical virginity. As long as you technically stay a virgin and you're being good, virginity is something that happened in the past. Chastity is something that can happen today, if you choose it. And my wife often comes with me, and she shares her story how she lost her virginity when she was 15. And she thought she was ready for sex, and it started a vicious cycle of relationships where she would give sex for the sake of feeling loved. And she came to learn that these guys don't want to spend time with me, they want to spend time with my body. And eventually it led to just this destructive lifestyle. And eventually one day she just said, I want something better for me. I got to get out of this. But no one is going to do it for me. I've got to get up and quit feeling sorry for myself. I'm not going to play the victim. And so there's got to come a point where you have to want it for yourself. Yeah, maybe I made some bad mistakes. Everybody has. But it's time, instead of defining your life by your mistakes, start learning from them. And so it doesn't matter what's happened in the past. Anybody can start over. And if your future spouse was out there right now, and they thought, well, I've already had sex once, what's twice? What's 3 times? What's 4 times? And you'd want to say, hey, what's me? Wait for me. Prepare yourself for me. Train yourself for the love that we are going to share together one day. And so your message for a future spouse would not be, hey, hook up, be friends with benefits, everything goes, make up your own rules. It'd be, no, hey, let's get ready for the love we've always wanted since we were little kids. And so start dreaming big again. Our world is so narcissistic and so cynical, and so love doesn't exist anymore. It's just all bogus. That's fairy tales. Give it up. I mean, you girls from the time you're like junior high are basically told love isn't even real anymore. What's the point of waiting? All this fairy tale stuff, forget about it. We've got to rediscover it. And I think when we see this bigger vision of love, I remember being in Boston about 3 years ago, and a girl came up to me after the talk, and she said, you know what? She said, after your talk, she said, I was going to lose my virginity tomorrow. She said, to my boyfriend in the backseat of his car in the parking lot of a movie theater on a date. My dad was going to drive me to the movie theater. We're going to get out of the car, act like we're going to the movies, then go to his car, and I was going to give him my virginity. And she said to me, she had some attitude. I loved it. She said, I am not giving my boyfriend my virginity in the backseat of his dumpy little car in the parking lot of a movie theater. She said, I'm giving it to my husband on our Paradise Island honeymoon. She saw the big picture. And virgin or not virgin, we got to see the big picture. There's something better out there for us. There's a book that just came out called The Thrill of the Chaste. It's by a woman in New York City who lived the Sex and the City lifestyle. And then she realized, you know what? Why did I get in this in the first place? Because I wanted love. Now, after years of living with casual sex, am I any closer to that love? No, I'm further from it. And so she figured, I want to turn things around. And now she's practicing chastity as a woman who had lost her virginity. She's starting over, and she's beginning to reap the rewards of self-respect.
So, we've all kind of, messed up in different ways, or at least a lot of us have, in the chastity area. It's really hard. So, after we've made mistakes, how do we come back?
There's a lot of steps that should be taken. The first one is to come back to God and understand. You look at the prodigal son in that story, and as soon as the father sees him, the father runs to him. The son's not running back to the father. The son just knows, man, things are better with him. I'll start going back. And as soon as the father spots him, he runs to him, embraces him, welcomes him home. That's the father's reaction to us. It doesn't matter where you've been or what you've done. He just wants you home with him. And so realize he doesn't look at you, oh, here's that guy who did that stuff with that girl. He doesn't hold grudges like we do. So come to God, especially in the sacrament of reconciliation. And secondly, work to forgive yourself. We all make mistakes. St. Francis de Sales said, have patience with the whole world, but first of all with yourself. And then lastly, find some good friends. It's so important. In college, who was St. Francis Xavier's roommate in college? St. Ignatius Loyola. We need good roommates. We need good friends. Nobody's going to pick them for you. You got to go find them. You have to deliberately surround yourself with good friends, and it makes life so much easier.